Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
You can go around the world and not find a better beer than Samuel Adams. Always a good decision.
Bazinga.
Subscribe to Just M1ke Plays, right, for all you can see without the use of a PC.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel and welcome to my first save here on Football Manager 29 Touch with New England Revolution. This is one New England save here for you guys. Hopefully you're going to enjoy the ride that we'll be taking along with the New England Revolution. So as you can see, I've taken the seat. Unfortunately, Brad Friedel has been relieved of his duties after, well, nothing, because obviously this is the start of the season, which is basically just winding up over in America. But obviously the roster has been updated as well, so I've got like Michael Manti and all them kind of good players as well. We'll have a little bit of a look into the squad shortly. So let's have a quick look here. Obviously, welcome to England. Obviously, I'm working under the Director of Football, Mike Burns, which is not going to be the easiest, to be fair. He's not the taste of the town, should I say, over in New England at the moment. A lot of people want to see him lose his job because it's been 3 seasons of meh, really. And obviously, we bought Brad in this season. Didn't really get the backing I think that he needed. But obviously, now I'm here. So let's see if I can make Mike Burns splash the cash. Tactics, introduction, sorry. I'm not going to take this at the moment. I kind of know from playing the fullback game what this kind of entails. We'll go through tactics shortly as well. New signings and transfer obligations. So obviously these are all the players that have just recently come in. You can see the likes of Annie Barbara came in right at the start of the season. Brandon By and Segbers, obviously they were from the... It says Segbers actually came from Chicago FC. That's not true. He actually was part of the Super Draft pick, along with Samioa as well. We've then got the likes of Zahibo, Somi, Casido and Pinilla. Obviously they're just loan moves at the moment. In real life they have recently just been taken the option to permanently sign both of them players, which were kind of tied into this. I'm wondering actually, just before we kind of delve in, I wonder if that is an option here. Have I got the option to... No, it doesn't look like there was actually any clauses for me to be able to buy him, which is a little bit of a failure from the SI team there. Not trying to knock them at all, because obviously they're doing an amazing job. But yeah, the person who gave him the information for the MLS didn't get that one right, because although they are under contract, yeah, see, they both had an option to buy them at the end of the loans, which doesn't seem the case here, so that might be quite tricky for me to bring them two in. But who's saying that I will keep them? Because obviously there's no saying that just because they're good in real life, they're solid players in real life, that they're going to kind of roll out exactly the same way over on the save. Let's have a look at the injury update there. There's nothing to actually note at the moment, which is good news. Competition expectations. I've not actually got any say in this, which is quite weird. We've got a... We're going to move over to the competition expectations review. I can't actually have any say here, which is quite annoying. You can see that we've got a wage budget of 100,000k per. We've got 100,000 per week, and we've got a little bit of a transfer budget as well. Obviously, this isn't the real MLS, so it is an MLS in the fact that all the teams are there, all the players are there. There's no promotion or relegation, but there's none of the drafts, TAM, GAM. None of the kind of restrictions, salary caps, anything like that. No DP rules, no. So it's a very kind of European looking MLS without the addition of the promotion and relegation, which is slightly annoying. So yeah, I'm going to kind of worry about any of that stuff at the moment. I would love it if they kind of put that into these kind of games, but I think it's just too much of a big task for them at the moment. Pre-season fitness, they got a few players there performing quite well, and obviously Downer there. Will I keep him? I don't know. We'll have to have a look at his attributes, won't we? And talking about attributes, let's have a quick look at the squad we've got to work with. Well, I've actually kind of organised it in terms of ability at the moment, current ability, not in terms of potential. We can see their potential just to the right-hand side of it. We're going to be looking at Callum Rowe, first of all, a player which many are kind of expecting New England to trade off in the actual real-life off-season that New England are going through at the moment. I'm hoping they don't, but I think there's a good chance they will. He's a US men's international as well. Very well-rounded player, can play in multiple positions. He played a lot. I kind of really feel sorry for him this season under Brad Friedel, because he played a few times at left back, started on the right of the attacking three behind the striker. Didn't really get to play in his favourite spot, which was the number 10 role, which Diego Fundungas kind of preliminarily took over really from Lee Win at the start of the season. Played okay, to be fair, Diego did, but I'd love to see Rowe given more of a run. He didn't really have a run at any one time in a given position for long enough for us to really see what it was. Had a niggling injury as well, came back from them, but then did start to hit some form towards the end of the season in that kind of number 10 spot, and then we started playing him at left back. Because we've got a massive problem with left back, which is one of the areas I'm looking to address potentially in this save. But yeah, obviously very talented player. A player I'd love to see stay at the New England Revolution, but unfortunately I do think with his stock value and everything like that, I do think he's a player we might use to trade out at some point in the off-season. Next up we have Christian Pinilla, player of the season, MVP, top goal scorer, all that kind of good stuff. Very, very talented player. Burst onto the scene at New England as well. Showcased pretty much the most consistent player we had throughout the whole season. His attributes on the game looking very good as well. Important player and could still improve as well, which is good to see. Definitely, as long as he's going to perform to the level that he's performing in real life, he's going to be a player I would love to kind of keep and build the team around. He's good. He's obviously got good versatility as well. Can play left or right hand side, and as a striker if need be as well. Next up, we actually have Andrew Fowler. I'm quite surprised about this one. He's a player we're kind of pushing at the moment, I think, for the, he had the captain's armband towards the end of the season. He can play again. Versatile player. This is good. A lot of versatility in the New England Revolution squad. Attributes look okay, to be fair. Nothing, wow about him. He's got room to improve as well. 25 years of age. To be fair, he looks pretty decent on here. I'll definitely give him a shot. In real life, I'm still a little bit unsure about him. Although, to be fair, I would say, again, he was consistent. But I would say he's consistently okay, not consistently great or anything like that. So, but yeah, he had some really, really good games. Scored his first New England Revolution goal this season as well. As his second, I believe. I think he actually scored 2 this season. But he definitely grabbed his first goal. But yeah, again, looks an okay player. He probably will be my starting right back as long as the pre-season goes quite well. Then move on to my central partnership is going to be, the first of all, we've got Antonio De La Maya, Big Tony at the back there. Again, he's an international for is it Slovenia or Slovakia? I can never remember. Slovenia. Again, a very well-rounded player, got good attributes. 26 years of age, so again, kind of hitting his prime years now. So I don't know how much more improvement we're going to see from him. But yeah, solid player all round, and he will be joined in the defensive partnership with the next man down, which is Michael Mantian, 30 years of age, obviously from Nottingham Forest, previously in the Championship. A lot of people were obviously worried when we first signed him because he actually is the most highest paid defender in MLS, not even just New England, in the whole of the MLS, which makes me think that obviously he's getting paid more than Ashley Cole. I thought Ashley Cole would have been on a Megabucks contract, but yeah, he's one of our obviously DP signings. Looks okay, to be fair. The 30 year of age thing kind of worried me, but to be fair, he did have a very good season towards the back end. Started off okay, then kind of had a few off games, but him and De La Maya do look like they're going to be forming some kind of decent partnership now. If we can just sort the right and left back out, I think we could have a makings of a decent back line. I'm going to try and not go through every single player, but next up is Scotty Caldwell, Mr. New England Revolution, as I like to call him. Again, a player which some people are suspecting we might use as a trade. I hope we don't. I hope we kind of, extend his contract and keep him locked down for another season or two. I don't want to see him go. I know he's kind of not been playing as much, but I think he's just a great player to have around. Very vocal. Took the captain's armband a few times this season as well. Really stuck to the plate when it kind of need him. He's a tireless trier as well. Just he is he will just run and chase the ball down. Sometimes to no avail. Sometimes he does get the ball back and look to start springing attack. Ability wise, again, a very well rounded player. I wouldn't say he's anything. He's not the got the wow factor in terms of flair or anything like that, but he's very good at what he does, which is passing the ball, giving the ball. He kind of reminds me in some ways, and I'm not saying that of any way the level of ability in terms of what I'm going to mention, but he does remind me and sometimes of a Pirlo with legs. Basically, that's what I like to call him. He's got a good distribution. Again, I'm not saying anywhere near the level of Pirlo, but he kind of reminds me of that player. He likes to pick up the ball, works a little bit of time, so he's got some time to really pick out a decent pass. But the fact he's got, I'm not saying he's fast, but the fact that he can just run and not stop is really pleasing to see. 26 years of age, as I say, I think he's his whole career in England, hasn't he? Yeah, came through the academy, and we really like to keep him at the club. Next up, I'm not going to go through this, said all of these players, but next up we have got Diego Fernandez. This will probably be the last player that I kind of look at in depth. 22 years of age, a player again I'm looking to keep. He can play anywhere in that kind of midfield area, and as a kind of, we did actually utilise him as a false nine, to be fair, in last season at some points, because we had striking issues, which is something I do look to address in this save for sure. But yeah, very talented player, and quite surprised he's actually slightly better. I think there's a few of these that could definitely be worked on. But again, he's got a lot of time to grow. I do think he could be a player, well, he's definitely a first-team player now, but a huge player in the future. I think it's actually been quite hard for me to keep Diego at the club, if anything. I think that's going to be the hardest thing that I'm going to have to try and do. They've got obviously quite a lot of other players here. I'm not going to go through them all. Let's say other key players we're going to be looking at throughout this save are the likes of Brandon Boy. Can he dislodge Andrew Farrell at that right back position? Or do I potentially retrain him to play a little bit higher up the pitch? We've then got Zahibo as well. I'm not too sure if he's going to make the squad at the moment. He's a very talented player. Again, he's got good potential. But I'm not too sure how much game time he's going to be getting. Then we've got Casado as well. Quite weird with Casado, because he actually played a lot of the kind of games as kind of more of a defensive midfielder in some games, and he doesn't really have that he didn't have that nailed down here as a position he plays, and he did play that 21 years of age. I think he's going to be a huge talent in the future as well. Some people are saying that he had an overhyped season. I think he had a good season. I wouldn't say he was anywhere on the level of Pinilla, but to be fair, who else had a decent season at New England this season? I think you've got to kind of say it was Pinilla and Casado, the ones that ran alone, that really kind of were there to kind of prove a point, as some might say, fighting for the opportunity to gain a shirt next season, and they've both done it. Quite disappointed that he can't play as a defensive midfielder, so I might have to rethink of my formation, that kind of thing. But very good player to have in the locker room for sure. We've then got the options at left back. We've got Gabriel Somi and Chris Tierney. Chris Tierney is someone that I'm going to be looking to keep around the club no matter what happens. Again, Mr. New England, just played for New England for all his career. He's age isn't really on his side now. He's just coming back from an ACL tear as well, which isn't good at the age of 33 years now. So I'm not too sure if we will see Chris Tierney in a New England Revolution shirt again. At the moment, he unfortunately is actually out of contract in real life, and I'm not too sure if we're going to look to extend that or not. But I do hope, for the love of God, that New England do actually pick up the option to keep him, maybe just for another season, even if he is just back up, or just keep him in some capacity with the club, which is what I'll be looking to do as well. So even if he does look to retire anytime soon, we'll be looking to bring them in to the back end staff, and definitely keeping them within the club. Gabriel Somi, again, is a player that isn't half decent probably on Football Manager, but in real life he just didn't fit what Brad was trying to do. He's fast, and probably that's about it. That's all I can probably take from this season. He's fast, and I don't know what else I can say. Good to see the fact that Claudiano hasn't got as much hype as he did last year in the game, because I think he was kind of OP a little bit. This time round, obviously, he's in a 3-star. And then we've got Annie Barbar as well. It's good to see that him is on the same level as Diona in terms of that. Diona obviously is on a huge contract at New England Revolution. He's the second highest paid defender in the whole of the MLS. So we actually have the top two best defenders. I wish it was that way, but two of the top paid defenders in the club. And so I'm looking to probably get him off the books, if I'm going to be perfect honest, because he's got quite a large wage bill. I'd like to free up that, because he's not the level I want to be. 30 years of age. Again, I don't want two 30-year-old defenders. I've got Annie Barbar, I've got Mancien, I've got Dylan Mayer. Just need now the next one. So who is that young prospect that I'm going to be looking to bring in centre back? We've got Nicholas down here as well. I'm really sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I don't think he's going to be the right guy. He could prove me wrong in this save. In real life, I don't think we've took the option to extend his contract. No saying that we could obviously just not pick him up again, but I very much doubt it. He didn't play. I don't think he played at all, did he, the last season? So yeah, I'm not too sure on him at all. Other players I've noticed we've got Isaac Ankin as well, very talented player. Quite surprised to see his potential ability not much higher because he's playing at the under-20 national team level at the moment. Brian Wright, not too sure if I'm going to be keeping him. Femi will probably be the one we're going to be looking to definitely get rid of. Brian Wright will probably go out on loan. Same with Segbers as well. Zachary and Guillermo, they'll probably go. They'll be listed and see if anyone. And then I've got 3 goalkeepers. So I've got Cody Brad and I've got Matt Turner as well. Matt Turner will probably be my first choice. And then to be fair, I'm not really too sure. It probably will be Cody, but I can see that he is actually wanted at the moment. So I could look to see. It's from Derby County as well. So they might be looking to put in a decent offer for Cody. I mean, Brad Knight and Cody, they're similar in terms of, attributes, so I'm probably not really too fussy. The obviously plus side of Cody, only 24 years of age. He was, touted around as the next kind of possible men's national goalkeeper at one point. Obviously, it didn't come to fruition for whatever reasons. Obviously, he's not played at all this season for the New England Revolution due to injuries, and then just not been able to kind of get into any form to dislodge, first of all, Matt Turner and then Brad Knight, and Matt Turner had a bit of a stumbling blocks. But obviously, Matt Turner, 23 years of age, I think he's going to be my long-term goalkeeper in this save. So that's pretty much the squad, guys. Obviously, I know I've kind of rambled on for quite a while. Just to let you know, there's going to be no games in this one. It is going to be just going through the squad, going through the tactics, and then I'll probably go away, do some transfers, play the pre-season. Let's have a quick look at what we've got. Got quite a few games to be fair. Get all these pre-season friendlies out of the way, and then I'll come back to the game against Philadelphia as we start our MLS campaign. On to the tactics screen now. I'm not really too sure where to go with this one. In real life, New England probably do play that kind of Gangnam style press, which has become so hipster at the moment, but I'm not really too sure if that's something I'm going to kind of implement into this save. But looking at these, I'm not 100% sure what else I would look to do. Look to the opponent's attacking threat, highly structured defensive approach. Don't really want a highly defensive approach purely because of the fact I don't think that is our actual strongest suit. Instantly wins the ball back possession, high intense running, aims to detect play, patiently waits for openings. See, control possession might be something that I would like to try and do, but again, I don't know if I've got the players that could actually kind of make that happen. Dominant possession, relentless passing, patiently waiting for openings. Again, I don't think that's something that we've kind of got that we utilise what we've got on our team. Moving the ball vertical rather than side to side, looks to get quality crosses into the box, overload in wide areas. Again, our strength is in the wide areas. I think, in Christian Pineda, whenever I try to decide to play on the right hand side, which probably will be Diego, but at the same time, quality crosses into the boxes would work, but I do need a striker. But I do think that's possibly what I'll be looking to do. So players will look to get the ball out wide as early as possible, while fullbacks will look to overlap and exploit the wide areas. Once the ball is out in the wide area, the main focus will be to get across to the ball. So we're playing a balanced mentality, while in possession, slightly more direct passing to space, focus down the right and obviously the left hand side, overlapping as well, high tempo and extremely wide. In transition, we look to distribute the flanks and the counter. And then out of possession is low line of engagement, more urgent. I think that's probably what we're looking to do. We probably will be playing something probably along those lines, if I want to be perfectly honest. But I will be possibly looking to take that anchor man forward and playing as a central attacking midfielder rather than an anchor man. Although I do really like the kind of player there. I actually like the half-back role, to be fair. It's one of my favourite roles on Football Manager as a whole. Wish it was in the mobile series. But yeah, I probably would just looking to play a very standard 4-2-3-1 wide formation. Let's just have a quick look at these. I think this stuff here, this is fine, extremely wide, fairly high tempo, more direct passing. Do we want to hit early crosses? Probably not actually hit them early. In transition now, I do actually want to start the counter press, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you though. Other than that, all looks good to me. And then out of possession, standard width, slightly more urgent. Yeah, that actually looks all good actually. That's probably what I would go for. So I'm actually just going to pick my starting 11 for you guys now as we kind of go through this. And then that'll probably be the end of today's video, because as I said, I'm then going to go away, play the pre-season games off camera, have a look at some scouting as well, get some scouting done, get some new players hopefully into this squad. But let's just have a quick look at what this squad would look like at the moment if I was to pick out of the current roster we've got. It would be Matt Turner in goal. I think it's going to be an easy option, as long as he doesn't play too poorly at the moment. Then it will be an option who I get rid of out of the other two. At right back, we are going to start with Andrew Farrell purely for the fact that he's the better attributes on paper at the moment. But obviously one slip up from you, Mr. Farrell, and Brandon Boy is chomping at the bit to hit a spot. I'm going to start with the strongest partnership we've got at the moment, which is Dielma and Mancian as well. And again, I can't see that changing unless I can bring something spectacular in the transfer window, which I very much doubt. Left back, I'm actually going to start with Chris Tierney over, although actually no, if we're going for actually wide play, this would actually suit Somi's style. So I'm actually going to try him out and see what he's like, but it is Chris Tierney's position potentially, unless Somi plays very, very well and impresses me in these pre-season games. The midfield partnership will be Calderwell and Casado. I will actually set the roles shortly as well once I've done that. On the right hand side, we're actually going to start Diego, and then in the centre it will be Mr. Callum Rowe, and then we're going to have Christian Penier on the left. See, that's the problem at the moment. Obviously, Christian Penier gets an injury. Diego can slot in on the left, but he's not as effective, I don't think. Although on the game, that could prove otherwise. Then other than that, we've got no depth at all in that position. Up top, we're going to start with Juan Agudelo. Or do we start Brian Wright? No, we'll start Juan Agudelo. Teal Bunbury, for me, is a player, again, I might be looking to move on. His age isn't on his side. I don't feel he's a... I'm not saying he's not a bad footballer in any stretch of the imagination. You know, he can play football, but I don't think he is an out and out. He's not a striker that puts fears into defender basically. Whereas I think Juan Agudelo definitely could be. So that's probably the starting 11 we're looking for at the moment. As I said, in terms of depth, I think goalkeeper were okay. Right back, I think we're fine. Centre back, I'd probably look to get rid of Diallo and bring one of the one in potentially. Left back, I'm not too sure at the moment. We have got two left backs, both fully fit, both of the same ability. So I'm not too sure. Realistically, I don't need to look to bring anyone there, but I will have a look around the market, get a bit of scouting done, and see if there is any other options out there that are slightly better. Deep line, kind of, you know, the midfield partnership. Again, I think we're okay. We've got Caldwell, we've got Casado, we've got Zahibo can play there as well. We've got Haribo if I do opt to keep him. We've got quite a few people who can kind of play in that role as well. And if I do drop back to a kind of slightly more defensive role, we've got ample players can play in that defensive midfield role. Well, actually, no, we haven't, because Casado can't. So maybe I'll look to bring in another defensive midfielder, possibly, but I'm not too sure how often I will be playing that formation. Possibly when we're away from home against the likes of Atlanta, we might look to kind of play a more defensive formation. The right hand side of midfield, I think we're okay. We've got, you know, Diego can play there. We've got Kellen as well who can play there. Two players of really good quality. And then even if you look past that, you know, if we do kind of have to, we have got the likes of Agudelo and Bunbury who can play in that position as well if need be. Plus we've got the likes of Enkin and Segbers who can play there, and Brandon Boy as well if need be. So we've got quite a lot of options on that hand side. Up top, as I said, we know we're looking to get a striker really. Although Agudelo looks pretty decent, hopefully can perform for me, but I do need another option. I need some depth in that position because Teal Bunbury isn't going to be pushing him for a first team place. The only other position we need to kind of look at really is on that left hand side of the midfield, because if you look there, again, it's not quality. We've got Gamero, but again, he's probably going to be a player I'm looking to move on. So that'll probably be the starting 11. That's the formation we're probably going to rock. If you kind of see, actually I do need to set these roles quickly. He will be a Mazzala, because that's what I wanted to play. Although that's not his strongest suit, but that's the kind of role I want to play. And Casado will actually be a ball-winning midfielder, I think. Deep lying. No, to be fair, actually, no, we'll go with that. One of them can sit back a little bit further than the other one. Makes sense, to be fair. So yeah, that's probably what we're going to be rocking. Actually, I want Karen to play an advanced playmaker. No, Treacle Twister. Do I go Treacle Twister? Yes, possibly. And then I actually want Juan to play. Oh no, yeah, I do. It is an advanced forward. Cool. Okay. Oh, what have I done there? Oh no, I've messed everything up. Anyway, that's my, I don't know what I've done here. There we go. That's my starting 11. Obviously, we'll work on substitutes and everything like that. As I said, we're now going to go away. I'm going to play some games off camera, get some players in, hopefully that kind of good stuff. Staffing wise, I think we're all okay at the moment. It's kind of, you know, again, it's quite minimal what you can kind of see on here and what you can do in terms of, you know, compared to the full version. These, you know, we've got your abilities there, so looking to improve these would be great, but you've not got any depth in terms of your staffing. This will be something that I'll actually be looking to take over myself in terms of training. I will be kind of looking to go through these possibly in the next video. I'm going to set them all up and go through kind of what I've done in terms of training and you know, how I've kind of set my, we have a lot to achievement. I will actually kind of look to kind of set my training up and go through a little bit more depth of how I've set it up. Obviously it's slightly different from the full fat version, so it's going to be a different approach. Well, we've got finances as well. Again, this one, it's got some pretty good depth to this. I like the financial side of the game, so we kind of will be looking at that. At the moment, from the start point, you know, we've got a decent bank balance. We've got £5.5 million in there. A good bank balance. We've got, you know, ample wage budget, and we've got a decent transfer budget as well. So yeah, I'm pretty happy financial wise with how we're looking at the moment. In terms of the club, there we go. That is all you see. There's the lovely New England Revolution kit as well. I do actually, you know, I'm actually quite fond of that kit. Got no vice captain at the moment as well. Affiliate clubs, should have Porto on there. We have got Sporting Porto, so we'll actually be possibly looking to see if there is any players we can possibly look to pinch off them, because it should be a fact we've got an option to loan their players, if I'm correct. If I could just click, actually, why can't I just click on the actual thing? I'm not clicking on Portugal. I can't look. I literally cannot. I literally can't look. No, I literally can't look for some reason. Okay, look at Empire, and every time I look. But I'm pretty certain that the affiliate club with Sporting is the fact that we can actually loan players to them and not have to pay their wages. So I'll have a look there as well, see if there's anything we can grab from that team. Other than that, guys, that is pretty much wraps up the first episode. Obviously, sorry that it just dragged on a little bit, but yeah, I kind of just wanted to get this kind of episode and introduction to the squad done and dusted. But now we have done, all the fun begins. We're going to be playing our first games, delving into the transfer market and looking to bring New England Revolution back to kind of where they belong, back to that MLS Cup glory. Anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed this episode, then don't forget to show your support by dropping a like on the video. I've been Just M1ke Plays, and I'll speak to you legends soon.